All right, here we are, folks. Welcome in. I'd like to direct you to the bottom right of your screens where you can see Dark's elo. That's obviously a very big number, but that is, I think, by far the lowest of Platinum League, and that is just the reminder that he has maybe not been as active as many other players in our scene. The other part of that, too, as well, is he had an interesting situation with the draft here. His draft, he banned every single new civilization and the Incas, which were reworked. Possibly a sign he either A, doesn't have the DLC, because it just came out recently, or B, maybe he just doesn't want to deal with it because he hasn't been able to test it yet. That's understandable for everyone. We've had other players ban it as well. I said, look for the lames. Look for the lames. And Dark is going forward to lame. He doesn't know his boar was being attacked, and oh my goodness, the boar didn't cooperate. And now Dark, they both fail the lame. And Dark's going back for it here. And Dark is taking the boar. Now, Sitaux doesn't know that this boar is being stolen because he went forward to steal his opponent's boar. I don't think he knew that boar was there. This has been common. Some of these gens on Valley are super open, and the boars are very far forward. And the wins matter for so much here, guys. This is so important. Dark is going the long way around because he thinks that his opponent is waiting for him. That's not the case, though. Here's a reminder on the standings. Right now, Sitaux is joint. Well, there's 4 players with 4. I don't even know what you say that. Is like, are 4 people tied for 4th? Kind of hard to say. Obviously, a lot changes. Sitaux's going to want the win. Dark needs wins to survive. And Dark just kind of weaving this boar back home, and he'll benefit from the lane. But yeah, both of his boars are like, this is extreme. Both of his boars are right there towards the middle. I think right now he might assume his boars are gone. What he is going to miss is some sheep here, but that's maybe something between rounds we want to take a look at. If we're going to have both the boars on the front for one player, maybe we want it for both. But obviously Dark could end up getting 3 right now. And Sitaux just chose not to go back for the boar because his eagle's super weak. He'll see the scout. He'll probably check the HP and understand. And I think Dark will see that boar, and Dark will want that boar. Dark may also be really confused because he still doesn't see his other boars yet. So, had he just scouted his own base, he would know about the boars. Is Sitaux going to go steal them with a Vil? Again, Sitaux brings a crazy type of tournament energy. Like, he will take risks. He sees the boar. He's bringing a villager. Dark still does not know either of his boars are there. This is insane. And he's going for a barracks, which means he'll have food spent for militia. But yeah, here comes Sitaux. And Dark Scout looking around at, oh my god, Dark's going to find the sheep as well. If Dark finds the sheep, he can steal those. Sitaux has all of his sheep. This is a crazy lane game. Sitaux is going to go for both of them. He's going to steal, or attempt to steal, both of his opponent's boars. He, of course, lost one of his own. He is blocking with the eagle. He is on the way home. And Dark is like, wait a second. I think Dark would have caught a glimpse of his boar moving there. His scout will be right here. And if he pays attention, he will see the boars walking. There are 2 of them there. Dark, that is both of your boars. You might need to block this, but it's really hard because his scout is weak from earlier. And Sitaux already has loom. Sitaux will get this. That's crazy. What is this start? Remember, Sitaux stole sheep, but he's now losing sheep. And now Dark is going to find even more sheep. But I think for now, Dark needs food underneath his TC. This hurts Dark for now. To not even have one of those boars is brutal. But pretty much the only boar that the players will be eating is the opponent's boar. It doesn't matter. It still tastes just as good. And Sitaux also finds his sheep. So as far as the laming goes, way better for Sitaux. His resources also last 10% longer with the Mayans. Plus, he's up that additional villager. Dark has problems now, guys. And when you have problems, you need to take the middle food here. And that's exactly what he'll try and do. 2 militia for both players will meet in the middle. There's still the weak eagle there for Sitaux. But what a play from Sitaux to send that Vil, guys. Crazy start. I love the decision to do that. Like, so many players would not take that risk. But considering the circumstances, it just made so much sense. You know your opponent's scout is weak because he lamed you. And of course, you just need any momentum you can. And Dark Scout gets clicked. See, he's trying to join up there with his militia. He makes a mistake. And he clicked his scout right into the TC, and now his scout is dead. Dark has to add farms. But Sitaux didn't see this, or at least didn't react to it. Dark is in the middle. He does have the chickens there. He is able to recover. He does have the villagers on berries. Farms are never going to be a bad thing. And honestly, I think Dark is good enough that where these militia and the eagle should never kill a Vil. The fact that the eagle is compromised and the eagle is weak should be no problem here for Dark, but maybe a little rough around the edges. Micro has not been perfect. He'll bring his militia back home. It's all about feudal age time, and with the 3 boars that Sitau's had in this game, Sitaux is on the way up. So we've had games of Valley, which has been very defensive and very relaxed. And very boomy. We had that game that went down to the final tree. This game, though, has just been... I had to skip over my intro. I couldn't show some of the stats I wanted to show on screen. This has just been nonstop. But I think it's going to be more of the same. Dark takes the trade there. But Sitaux, if he looks, should know the villagers are in the middle. And he's adding more militia right now, planning on man-at-arms. This could be a very quick game if Dark doesn't drop off the food to get up here. He needs these villagers to drop off the food. He's got over 100 food in their hands. He'll drop off the food there. He'll click up to feudal age, but his map is half decent. He's got these 2 golds in the back. This gold's kind of brutal, but all the wood lines and those golds and stones in the back are good. It's just the villagers in the middle right now. And you've got a decision to make. Your decision is stay here and fight for this, which is, of course, risky, or go home. And it all comes down to scouting, guys. If he still had that scout, he could see the barracks. He would know the militia were coming in. 50% of the time, that's going to be the build these days. But he just doesn't know. So he's behind and he has to take the risk. And I've been so critical at times of players if they don't expect man-at-arms. It's such a militia-heavy, man-at-arms heavy meta right now. And, I mean, he doesn't expect it. And he's going to stone? Oh, God. I mean, well, he sees it. Best of luck. There's 4 men-at-arms here. There's the other ones over here as well. Dark fights that back. He has to leave the middle. Sitaux should always get the block here. The men-at-arms are faster than the villagers. So you could just use one to block. He gets the block. I don't know what on earth this is from Dark. I guess he's just going to try and turn this into some type of fast castle. It's like some weird fast castle phosphor style build. But what a start from Sitaux. Guys, for those that have been watching for years, list off some of the civilizations that have been the most dominant and the most banned in Age of Empires 2 tournaments. Come on, help me out here. Help me out. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, Chinese. Thank you. That's number 1 on the draft for Sitaux. There's another civ that has been very strong historically. That may or may not be controlled by Sitaux right now. That's what I wanted you to say. 2 people did. Mayans. Thank you. I'm just saying, the whole draft from Dark was banning all the new DLC civs. And yes, there's definitely like 1 in there, maybe 2 that are like very good. But I've been saying, I'm not sure they're necessarily better than Chinese and the Mayans. What Mayans are able to do in this type of map, pretty well established. And Dark just didn't want to deal with any of the DLC civs today. And we are being reminded very quickly how good the Mayans can be with the early lames, how good they can be with the early pressure. And this, I mean, this is over. You either have to build your tower or repair your mining camp. You have to do both. You can't do both. 3 villagers are down already. He's never... I doubt he makes it to Castle Age, but even if he does, what is he even going to have? Sitaux has just played it perfectly. This is an absolute slaughter. And even if you complete the tower, you're just sitting inside the tower and the archers are underneath it. And there's not too much you can do about it, right? Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Archers are still sitting there. Villagers will be inside. I think you have to now hope to click up the castle. Oh, man. He's out of food. More archers will be following up. You look back at Sitau's base. Look at the amount of farms as well. 11 farms from him. Walls are coming up along the front just in case there's pressure. The man-at-arms make it through. And GG. And, yeah, just amazing play there from Sitaux. I do think Dark is very unlucky here, right? When you're talking about laming, it's all about like risks. Chad, I'm sure he said the GG and he just mistyped it and dropped the G, but do your thing. He is unlucky. He's unlucky to have both the boars forward, but he's also unlucky in that when he went forward and did everything that he didn't see one of them. Like, he straight up just misses this one. I'm really curious what happens if he has one of the boars in the back of his base. I mean, he did get the boar lame in early. Had he known about those other boars, I think it's a very different game. But the thing for me that it just comes back to is how much strength the Mayans have. The Mayans will have that eagle, and the eagles can be really strong in the laming scenarios. And the Mayans always are up that one villager, and it was just such a nice build from Sitaux. He stole the food with that villager through the middle, which you just never see. But Sitaux had to recognize in the moment that his opponent's scout was weak. He had to block it perfectly. He had to time it perfectly. He also had to get the barracks timing down right, which is not easy. And then he just full pressured the middle, which Dark was just in full recovery mode. So 0-7 for Dark. Sitaux will want to keep that streak going. And nice start for Sitaux. Damn. All right, I would not expect this to be quite as lamey. I think this will be a more relaxed start, but imagine the pressure and then having game number 1 play out the way it did. Sitaux probably feeling a little bit more relaxed. He's certainly not under as much pressure as Dark here. Dark right now is 0-7. This is Dark's home map. This is Quarry. Quarry, of course, you've got all the gold in the middle and that little pit on the crack terrain. That becomes the focus in Castle Age and Imp. But for the start, players have been pushing a lot of deer. And so Sitaux's pushing in his deer here with the melee. I think we'll see a very similar build-up, though. This has been a very 2 militia focused map. 2 militia, disrupt the opponent, stop them from walling the middle area. We've seen very quick builds to feudal age then into archers. And I think both civilizations can be great here. I think melee have historically just been one of the best. Advancing to the next stage that much faster is pretty significant. And oftentimes this map can be a race to the Imperial Age. So far with the draft, I just think everything has gone so much better for Sitaux. Vietnamese, we never really got to see get going for Dark, to be fair, in the previous game. But that was, a lot of it just came down to how the early lane played out. And Dark will bring in his boar, and I think Dark needs to just focus up here. Boar actually doesn't chase him either. And he hasn't realized, and he hasn't gone back. Boar could be extremely annoying sometimes where they just don't chase. Here he goes. Now he's going to run back. And he was just pushing in his deer here as well. I think this will be a 4 on wood for both. And most likely, as the boar again not cooperating, most likely the early drush. But again, I think Portuguese wants something a little bit different than that. Maybe for Dark, he doesn't want to play into that against the Malay. That's exactly what the Malay are built for. Dark's pretty good with it, though. I think against Viper, he did it. I forget, who did Dark play in the first rounds? I think Mihai as well, he did it. So, deer just getting pushed in for now. Remember, there's not as much in the way of berries on this map. So that Portuguese bonus of getting some wood income from your berries, it's not as helpful on this map because you only have 500 food instead of like 1,000. But you do still have the cheaper gold units. You do still have the organ guns. You do still have great bombard cannons. I think it goes back and forth a little bit. But if this goes to the super late game, I think Portuguese are better than Malay. I think every early stage, Malay should have the timings with the aggression, which of course is so important here. There's the barracks for Sitaux. Both players have pushed in maybe 3 or 4 deer now, and they still have their boars. And I'm expecting Dark to add his own barracks here. T90, why do you think Britons are not played that much in high-level tournaments? I mean, Britons used to be really good on this map. I still think there's an argument for them, but I think... you know what's weird? I think the tech tree of Britons, it still feels like they should always be worth playing on a map like this. But every time I see them played, they just feel a little one-dimensional, a little one-sided. Britons should be really good here. I think this is actually one of their best maps. In Silver and Gold League, we've had people pick Britons in the draft, but just not play them. I don't know. I think there's just been enough experience. Technically, they're their archers can range the bombard cannons, so they're good against bombard cannon civs. They also have their trebs. So I think it's just there's been enough attempts with Britons in tournaments over the last couple years, and they always seem to hit a wall, and it doesn't work out, and so people just don't have positive experiences with them. I think that's what it comes down to. But when Quarry was first introduced, Britons was a really big pick here. Here comes Sitaux with the militia. Dark gets his militia here right on time, but he's not making the next one. Villager's still exposed. Dark wants to push that deer, and both players trade the scouts. Deer is very confused right now. He's like, what's going on? Am I going to be eaten or what? He's going to walk back home, but 3 militia from Sitaux. Again, the big thing here, though, is the follow-up. It's what does the economy look like? And for Sitaux, he's already on his berries, and he's denying his opponent's berries. So I think in the end, Dark is going to take the berries, but it does delay it more than he would want. And he doesn't advance faster to the next stage, so I think Sitaux will be fairly confident with this. Sitaux will see that 3 militia were forced out. He'll know the berries will be taken. He'll run around. Now it's all about balancing out the eco to click up. And if he drops off the food from the boar here after one more villager, he should be in a pretty good position to do so. Dark will go forward. Dark doesn't have a scout, so he doesn't know what he's running into. But again, he should know the berries are forward. Sitaux knows those militia aren't chasing him anymore. And Dark will wall behind. T90, do you think the new civs are too overpowered, or are players just banning them because they haven't had the time to practice with them yet? It's a mix. I think Incas are absolutely ban-worthy. I think, particularly on some of these maps. But I do not think it is smart drafting to ban like Dark is banned. Here, I'll show the draft again, just to give you an example. We saw it the other day, and like Leary won 3-0 as well. But I think it's more so people haven't had the experience yet, and they don't know enough yet. They don't want to take any risks. But this, to me, if I'm Sitaux, and I see my opponent bans the first 2 civs like that, if I wanted to ban Incas, I don't. Because you're expecting Dark to ban it. And then you look at Dark's draft so far, or Sitau's draft so far, he won with Mayans. He gets Malay in his draft, and then he also has Chinese waiting for game number 3. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a mix. But in Dark's case, the storyline is he's not as active as a lot of the other players at the moment. And so I think he just didn't want to take the risk. So it definitely came down to that. Both players walling up their wood lines. Very nice defense from both. The Dark's played pretty sharp here. He'll always be later to feudal. Little surprised he hasn't seeded any farms right now. Because if he wants man-at-arms and he wants his wood upgrade, he's kind of at the limit with food. I'm a very big fan of farms before horse collar in these situations. It's typically pretty difficult to bank on getting horse collar and getting the farms and getting the fletching timing. But he'll snag the wood upgrade. Sitaux hasn't actually gone for the wood upgrade yet. He's gone for man-at-arms, and he's just sinking some damage into the mill. But typically, it's the other way around. Typically, you want the wood upgrade. And then you want horse collar. But if Sitaux remembers that, he could always get the wood upgrade. Dark backing away. I think he actually wanted to bring his units home to deal with this, but he can't. He's walled in here. Again, another instance where it feels like Sitaux has just got him exactly where he wants him. He's got a man-at-arm and an archer here. Archers will be coming out from Dark, and he's going to go for 2 ranges. I think as long as Dark doesn't need fletching immediately, him squeezing in these eco upgrades is really, really good. So man-at-arms will be on the move. Militia are on the move. Militia are slower, though, so the militia will definitely be killed off. Not necessarily ideal for Dark that he's walling this way. You really want to wall this direction, and I feel like he's maybe had the time for it. It's such an easy wall off to there, and then it protects all this space for the long term. This can be a very boomy map, so I like Sitau's setup. Walls make a lot more sense for him. Sitau's done a really nice job this series. And a really nice job right now here as well. Like, using the 1 man-at-arm to distract the archers. But Dark is still tracking this, and Dark will still probably kill this. It's just that Sitau's got a lot of time and map control, and his own archers coming forward now. General Patton, first off, thanks for the gifted subs. Technically, the players can do whatever they want. Like, if the players want to have an honor code system where they say, hey, bro, do you want to agree to not pick or ban any civ? Like, Huns, Chinese, Mayans. Like, technically, that's always possible. We can't really stop them from doing that. I think if it were to become a common theme, we'd have to have a conversation with players. But yeah, they could have done that. We had an instance in Gold where neither player had actually bought the DLC. And they admit it. Like, one guy said, hey, I didn't have the DLC yet. How about you? The other guy's like, no. And they had an honor code system where they wouldn't pick or ban them, which was hilarious. I mean, it's also, like, kind of crazy to me, but when a DLC releases mid-event, perhaps it's understandable. So there was an honor code system. But I wouldn't expect that in Platinum. And also, we wouldn't be able to enforce whatever their code was. Here's the issue, guys. Sitaux can run into Dark's base. And Dark, yes, he has kind of walled this way now, but he's still very exposed over on the left side. He does have a lot of range units, though, and he does have fletching. He has gone double range archers against one range skirmishers, though. Typically, the one range skirmisher player will be very comfortable. That just means you're investing more into the economy. Sitaux's got 14 farms back here with Horse Collar. And here we've got 14 farms as well for Dark. Men-at-Arms are still keeping him guessing, but I think the archers will go there to clear that up. And these are actually the weak archers as well. Dark's had these archers inside the town center. But he might need to add a couple skirms here or get the walls down against the skirmishers from Sitaux, because he does not want this army running around. That's one too many skirms for him. And nice job chasing back the man-at-arms. Pretty close game. This is more along the lines of what we were expecting from Dark. He doesn't do a lot in the early game. He does enough to hold on. He can be a little greedy at times. But this wall's critical. This could have been really bad. If these skirmishers were in, he would have issues. And Sitaux's got the... Sitaux's got the two villagers here walking to the middle. Again, if you only have archers and the opponent gets in with skirms, I know skirms don't kill as quickly, but you kind of need to react with something. Dark has everything inside the town center, though, so if Sitaux were to run through, there would be arrows there, but Sitaux just kind of delaying the farms for now. Ooh! Okay, so the sides of the map, which we never really talk about, you can chop the reeds, and if you chop the reeds, you can go through. Sitaux has one villager here in a lumber camp, and that reed is down to 10 wood. Dark has brought an archer this way to double check. He also has an archer this way to double check. And, yeah, Sitaux realizes he's been spotted. And Sitaux will drop an outpost. Sitaux will drop a house there. I could also go the other way. If you chop the tree, the enemy can just run through this way, which you might not want. But Sitaux still hasn't clicked up to Castle Age. Dark, very chill play. He'll have his archers alive. The second he mixes in some siege with his archers, or even gets crossbow before elite skirms in, he'll have a window. But classic melee, it bails you out so much. I mean, I don't think Sitaux has necessarily played worse here, but he is certainly later to the next stage. And he's later to clicking up, and it'll still be about 20 or 30 seconds behind. But yeah, I think Sitaux is maybe regretting this. Because if Dark were to bring two vills right now, he could take this through, and he could just run right into the base. Sitaux would have no defense back there. Double outpost on the right side from Sitaux as well. So yeah, Sitaux is really paranoid. I think he doesn't trust that all the archers are still inside that TC. You see the flag, you assume that's the archers, but you just don't know. I think as well, Sitaux thought being the melee that he would be in Castle Age faster, but now he has to back off. Again, Dark never really got to play this series. Like, it feels like Dark, the first game he just got lamed to death. But here he goes, and he's coming to the left side. No way. So he will be through. Sitaux did 90% of the work. The crossbows are coming this direction, and this is not going to be walled up. That is crazy. Oh, no. Sitaux is feeling so much regret right now. Crossbows are going to be through. At least he can see it. He'll have to bring all of his skirmishers home now. He will have the middle control, but the crossbows, they can make their way right through it. Now this is smart from Dark. Look at this. So Dark's like, I know you have skirms. If I were you, I would bring the skirms back. I don't want to get trapped here. So he's running in with one crossbow. The other crossbows are just taking the outpost, and he's chilling. Oh my god, Dark lands a big shot. A Dark is locked in right now, guys. And look at that. He sees the skirms. Now he can simply just run back with his crossbows. So he defends with the siege in the middle perfectly. He gets the scouting with the crossbow here. All of his units just fall back. And now Sitaux saw the crossbows take down the outpost, but he doesn't have vision anymore. And he's like, what's going on? Where'd that army go? The crossbow actually gets into the woodline as well. I don't think he saw this. Dark can snag a villager kill. The thing for Dark is he needs town centers. You do need to add some economy here. I really like the micro. If it's not a eco, it's going to have to be full-on 1TC play. And he did do that against Viper. So maybe he's all about the 1TC here. Dark, when he can micro, is definitely one of the best in the world. His resources are looking good for Imp, and his micro's been good so far. The crossbows come to the middle. But you'll need the hill. Yeah. A second town center comes up for Sitaux. That's your typical play. I think Dark is just going to click to Imp here. So I played a 2v2 tournament with Dark. And he's just so good. Well, bad timing. But he's just so good with his military control. I promise you. He's really good. And he always has confidence as well, right? Like, if we'll be in a situation where it seems negative, I talk to Dark about it, and he's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. He's like 12 or 13 years younger than me. 10 times more chill than me. He's on the way to Imp. Yeah, he just wants to win this game. I think if you try and beat Melee to Imp in any other circumstance, if it's after you add the eco, you always lose. And Dark, you're killing me, bro. You're killing me. Oh my god, the only thing he's killed the last minute has been a deer. Sitaux's micro has been superior. Nice micro from Sitaux, but Dark needs all of his military alive here. This is all about the bracer timing. He'll definitely fall behind in Vills. He already has. But it's all about early bombard cannons and early upgrades. Maybe he's just not used to the level of micro on the other side, though, right? Like, Sitaux has landed some big attack rounds. And both players seem to be locked into their micro now. That's Sitaux backing off nicely. Sitaux microing up the hill. It's dangerous. But if Sitaux can land the shot, he'll be happy. And he's thinking about it. And Dark is just going to back up. Yeah, Dark is just waiting for Imp. Sitaux will be on 2 town centers. Sitaux already a 15-20 villager lead. I wonder how much of this is just high risk, high reward from Dark. You don't have a win yet this season. Maybe you don't feel like you're playing your best. Maybe you feel like some type of aggressive maneuver is the only thing you can really do. I hate the matchup if you play standard. So whether it works or not, we'll see. But God, Sitaux's micro is just next level right now. Sitaux's micro finally loses a mangonel. But look at the micro from him. My God. I mean, he does have the numbers too, and that's the other thing. He's constantly had the mangonels out here. Unlucky for Dark there. That mangonel's on 2 HP, but he goes back out there, snipes it with the crossbows, and falls right back inside the town center. He's just waiting for the Imp upgrades. Sitaux is going to be like, huh? Like, how is he an Imp and I'm Melee? More ranges for Sitaux. He's got 3 town centers. He's pretty much stuck in Castle Age here. But he has to take decent trades. If you can take 50-50 trades, you're okay because you have the far better economy now. Dark will have Bracer. Dark can have Arbalest. Those units are still waiting to hop out. And guys, I know I jinxed him before, but with Dark's micro, with Imp units, he can just slaughter the siege. The siege will no longer be a factor here. Ooh, a nice hits there for Dark. Let's not forget bombard cannons. So you can have Arb, and then bombard cannons, and then suddenly with bombard cannon Arbalest, Mangonel Skirmisher starts to look really rough. I don't know what you do here for Sitaux. I think it's the right idea to just have as much resistance as possible. More skirm production is needed. I like the idea of going to stone, I think, for guard tower or something. The longer you hold from this, the better your chances are at winning because you have the far superior eco. It's worth pointing out that neither player has ballistics right now. Dark is still just waiting. I'm not going to compliment Dark anymore. I think for Dark, I should probably compliment Sitaux. So, Sitaux's micro has been fantastic here. It's been perfect. I'm getting nervous. No, it has been really good, though. It's been great. His eco behind this has been good. Dark's just waiting. He's being super patient. The Arbalest upgrade's still a little bit too expensive here. He has the range advantage. He has chemistry and bracer. The skirmisher should melt, but he wants to conserve those numbers. I think he's waiting too long, though. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just waited a really long time here. And Bombard Cannon's in queue. Now he's moving forward. Not sure I love the idea of snagging handcart. Would like to see that food instead spent on the military. Sitaux has bought himself some time. Sitaux is on the way to the Imperial Age. Sitaux will be there in 2 minutes. The Dark needs every engagement to be perfect down 30 villagers right now. Even just some of the small things like getting relics. Like, do relics matter here? I don't know how important relics are when you're down by 30 villagers. The big thing, though, is going to be the Bombard Cannons. Because Sitaux still has to wait for chemistry, which will take a really long time. So Sitaux can get the skirm upgrades from the blacksmith. But chemistry's still a long way away, and here's Dark. It's all about the death ball right now. Creeping forward with the cannons. Balancing out his resources. I think we will see the Arbalest upgrade come in. That's what the Bombard Cannons can do. Sitaux is making a mangonel here, hoping for a hero shot. It's a real shame that ballistics isn't in yet for Dark. Dark's Bombard Cannon hits the mangonel. He loses the mangonel of his own. He's clearly saving up for a castle as well. He's on stone. And now he sees Sitaux as an imp. So now Sitaux will get the upgrade. Sitaux is getting ballistics. Completes that. Chemistry's on the way. Production buildings in the back is a really smart move from Sitaux, because that'll be one of the main things that we might see Dark target. And I think taking down this siege workshop could be important later on. It's fine if he just wants to keep a close eye on it. This is full on one town center from Dark, who is winless this season. And in Season 4, he went 4-1 in sets in the group, including beating Viper. That was the big one. I think he was actually in the same group as Sitaux. I forget. Anyways, I don't remember how that went. I remember in the playoffs, he beat Yo and he beat Tato. And then he ended up losing the semifinal to Leary. It was the best run of his career. But repeating that 12 months later has proved difficult, as Sitaux is just using so much patience here. It's fine. It's fine. Just run around. Micro against the cannons. Give yourself some time for your own cannons. You have the superior eco. Arquebus is 700 food and 400 gold. That's really pricey here. But maybe he feels like that's something he has to wait for. It almost feels like he's saving for it. He's dropping a castle back here. He's waiting for the cannon numbers. He's getting siege engineers. Yeah, he's just... You know what I would like now is... Now I would like him to consider Fatoria. When you only have 60 vills, I think 1 or 2 Fatorias could make sense. I think it's also the right play to no longer push. Like, Sitaux has shown enough. Maybe you like to see a bit more aggressiveness with the cannons, but this is still a lot of micro for Sitaux. It's a lot of babysitting. He's not able to balance out his eco. I'd love to see Sitaux think about the sides. Delete your house, attack that gate, and run in. Any type of distraction like that would be really difficult for Dark to deal with. But my god, so many bombard cannons. And siege engineers is in for both. Yeah, so both civs get that. Dude, the micro here is just wild. To not even lose a skirm half the time is ridiculous. And also, oh, that's a big shot. That's a big shot. He weakens the cannons. I would like to see more of that for Sitaux. Just toss away some skirmishers against weak cannons. It's risky, though. That's what can end up happening, but I think it's worth it. He's making Dark work. He's landing some good shots. Dark now microing and repairing his cannons. Clearly saving up for Arquebus. His Arbalests need to back off. The Organ Gun addition is good. KD for Dark is looking good, but he's 40 villagers behind. Will we see a Fatoria? I think we will. It's not a building I would recommend in any other circumstance, but when you have this low of an eco, might be worth it. It's just, do you choose Arquebus now, or do you choose to build a Fatoria? I think he's going to wait for Arquebus, the more I think about it. Oh, God! If you look away for a second, Sitaux, your skirms are dead. It's also a real issue for Melee, is they don't really have tanky units to be able to run in against the cannons. You could try elephants, but your elephants are... While they are cheap, they lack armor upgrades. And going for infantry as well is not good if the Arbalests are alive. There's Arquebus. Holy crap, Dark. So, now the Bombard Cannons are affected by ballistics, which means he definitely has the superior siege. Still doesn't have the superior eco. Yeah, and you could tell by the way the cannons are operating there that ballistics is now in. Yeah, like that one right there. Bam. You know, somehow didn't hit. The castle from Sitaux to secure the middle. I don't know if he has the middle position yet, but it's obviously a great idea. There's lots of gold here. At the very least, I think he just needs to prevent Dark from taking the gold. There's so much micro involved. What you need here, guys, is you need your cannons to fire at different times. If your cannons are all firing at the same time, it's actually fairly easy to dodge. That's a situation you want to avoid. That's very difficult, of course, but like, if all your cannons are firing at different targets, it becomes so hard to micro, just like that. There's a castle on the left. Maybe there will be an attack from Sitaux on the left side, but what a game. Guys, if two other players in the group have 3-0 Dark, that puts so much more pressure on Sitaux to do the same. And I don't know about that for Sitaux. His Bombard Cannon numbers are looking pretty rough. He's struggling to micro it, but he could make more of them. I think if he can fix his food eco, he can consider elephants. I still think the side attacks are the key, but Dark's got units there looking. I don't think he sees. Double check Dark's perspective here. He's just... Okay, he can see the castle. He can see the castle. So maybe what you could do is build a defensive castle just in case Karambits come in. Because Karambits are kind of perfect here. It's a unit that you don't really care about that can still do some good damage. It's so hard to run away from the Arquebus Bombard Cannons. So, knowing what we know now, I really like the patience from Dark earlier, right? I was critical that he didn't push quicker in early imp, but he's even down 50 villagers. He's got to a state of the game where he feels like he can win this. Big shots on the cannons. Bombard cannons are always being repaired as well by Dark. He also has the trebuchets here pressuring the castle. He does have a lot of cannons. It's hard to control them when you have this many. So he's bound to lose one or two. Still would love to see at least one Fatoria for Dark in the back of his base. I feel like it's needed. Left side, Sitaux will consider attacking, I think. He's losing the castle in the middle. Dark. He's been on 3 archer ranges the whole game. He's going to mix in some skirms as well. But if you can't make too many skirms, because if you just skirm cannon, elephants become a play. The castle is here from Dark. Actually, you know what Dark needs to do? I mean, maybe he can end up sniping the castle from here anyways. But realistically, I think he needs to be trebbing from the other side of that little wood line there. Sitaux is through, guys. Sitaux chopped, actually. Ooh, he didn't attack. He chopped. If you attack the gate, Dark sees it. I don't know if Dark's aware of that. Oh, Sitaux is looking at his army on the left, though. He's going to lose this castle. He's gonna lose a lot, but here he comes. Skirmishers and Karambits. There's nothing here for Dark. And Dark will have to pull back from the middle. That's a great move from Sitaux. Panic castle from Dark, but that means he can't take the stone. He can't take the golds here. That's already worth it for Sitaux. Sitaux's castle does go down. He's getting the cav upgrades, but he's 200 pop. And using the sides. Beautiful little move here from Sitaux. Especially if he can get skirmishers past that castle there, it'll be really annoying. But Dark still has the cannons. Dark still has the cannons on the front, and Sitaux is not noticing. Sitaux is not noticing. He's looking at his sneak, I'm pretty sure. He's trying to create chaos here, but the front of his base could be in big problems. He doesn't have any defense. He does get the units through, but he'll get cleared. He's dropping a castle here now as well and building a siege workshop to push. What a game. Again, maybe elephants in the middle right now could work. There's not a lot of protection for Dark. Now Dark's not paying attention. Sitaux comes in with the army. Dark loses another cannon. Dark is clearly very distracted, guys. He's still sending all of his army back. Whether or not he knows about this castle, we'll see. I think Dark's alerted to it now. He sees the skirms coming in. He needs his cannons repaired. I think it was worth it for Sitaux. I know he lost some cannons there, but I think it was worth it for him to try and create the chaos. And, oh! Uh-oh. Okay, Dark sees a castle there. But yeah, now what do you do if you're Dark? It's like, there's also a cut over here for Sitaux, so he could try and go in that way. I think maybe for Dark, you need to run into the back with something over here. It's so tough. He's still operating with half the economy of Sitaux. But Sitaux's economy is also not the cleanest 146 villager economy I've ever seen. Okay, elephants were spotted there. If you see elephants, I don't hate another monk or two. And I think you have to stop making skirmishers and you have to go full arbalest. Clearly right now, it feels like Dark just wants to take care of this and hold the middle. But he has to be really careful. Yep. Yep, he sees the Ellies. He gets the snipe. He does have organ guns. Organ guns are affected by Arquebus. Dark never saw the siege workshop here from Sitaux. That's a crazy call. Bombard cannons might surprise him against the Trebs, and Sitaux could hold the position. Sitaux can't run that way anymore. Sitaux can run this way, though, and there's the bombard cannon. Dark might need to pack up those Trebs. Dark has to work so hard right now to do anything. Oh, but he has his own cannons here. He has his own cannons. He has his own skirms. Sitaux will drop a defensive castle way into the back of his base in case he's raided. You need to see elite battle elephant for Sitaux. But you also need the attack upgrades. He's missing all the attack upgrades on the elephants. But here he goes. He's fighting before the elite upgrade. I don't know about that. But the game is chaotic, and sometimes you just need to send it. He still has the superior eco. There's still the focus over here where he snipes a bombard cannon. The elephants are still pretty damn tanky compared to the rest of the units on the field. And there's a lot of military for Sitaux. Sitaux snipes another bombard cannon, which means he can maybe make the move for the Trebs. He runs out of stone for the repairs. He's losing all of his elephants. He's still out of stone for the repairs. He will complete the elite battle elephant upgrade in 30 seconds, but he lost all of his elephants in the middle. I don't know if that was worth it. He will lose his castle. His eco is still insanely strong, though. And Dark is even getting circumnavigation right now. First time I've seen that tech. It's a new tech for Portuguese. Sets the entire map to explored and ships train 33% faster. So he's got 100% of the map scouted now. Did that work, though? I feel like it didn't work. Or at least capture age isn't... Should it not show? I thought it would show the wood lines and stuff. It doesn't show all visible. It should show all... I thought it was the whole map, right? Maybe capture age isn't set up for it, or maybe it's not working. Either way, Sitaux is pushing Dark out of the middle, which is what all the side chaos was designed for. And while it maybe was less than ideal to engage before the elite battle elephant upgrade, he's still able to. And, I mean, guys, I think that Sitaux has done it. He might have lost castles on the left side, but he still has a castle here to hold. He still has a castle here to hold. And he's storming mid. In a crazy game where Dark took the risk to go in. He's lost the middle gold now. And there's just not a lot of gold elsewhere. He does have some on the left. But he needs to get the vills there. And he has never had the villagers. Maybe he could have gone for Fatoria. Maybe with 1 or 2 Fatorias funding this, he'd be in a better position right now. But it was always high risk, high reward. The KD for Dark has been 2-1. But Sitaux has the resources to spend. And it just simply comes down to that a lot of the time, right? How good is your economy? How many units can you afford to toss away? Dark will lose the relics now. Amazing game. Amazing hold from Sitaux. he was under a lot of pressure here. He got pushed all the way back in his base. He lost a lot of castles. For a while there, his economy was struggling, even though he had 130, 140 vills. But the elephants were the key. And Sitaux can take the gold now, too. I mean, Dark will be 0-8 after this. Even though I said yesterday to chat, we need to think of the positives for players. I guess the positive is he's still in a group that has a lot of other players at 4. But, yeah, it's going to be pretty brutal. Next win, obviously, still would be important, but what a game from Sitaux. Like, Sitaux has played so well this season, guys. His games have just been so entertaining to watch as well. Like, the Sitaux Mihai series was nuts. The Dragonstar Sitaux series is nuts. Yeah, like, game number 1, the double boar steal with the villager. And now this as well. Like, just beautiful stuff, man. I think Dark is pretty cooked now, guys. He's going to fight it out because it means a lot. Because every game's so valuable here. But Dark will, he will remain winless. I do not see enough economy working for him. And his military's not even that strong anymore. But it's just one of those things. I think strategically, it was actually good for Dark. He wasn't able to focus fully in the middle, though, right? Because Sitaux took it to the sides. If Sitaux never took it to the sides, I mean, the KD still being ahead for Dark tells you that Dark was taking great engagements. Dark could have just flattened him in the middle, stormed his base, and snowballed the game in the blink of an eye. But that raid on the left, the multiple raids on the left, the forward castles there was just game-winning. And these elephants are just too tanky right now. I think the last of the bomber cannons that are in there for Dark will get pushed back, which means there's nothing he can do about the Sitau's bomber cannons. And this game is well and truly over. Sitaux will be up 2-0. And Dark taps out. Wow. Yeah, again, I want to go back to when Sitaux cut through. We've seen so many games in the past on Quarry where people haven't used the sides, right? Obviously, it was a funny instance where he started it in the early game. But let's go back to when Sitaux made his move. Okay, right here. I mean, this was at the point where Sitaux just lost 2 castles. He just lost the castle here and here. He's starting to get overwhelmed by the numbers of bombard cannons and the strength of the bombard cannons in the middle. But I even went too far back. Basically, by now, the attack already happened, right? So at this stage of the game, the middle is an area he cannot take engagements in. Not very easily. And then, the second he makes a move, all hell breaks loose. And where does Dark's military go? It has to go back. And that's not what you need. When you're one town center all-in push, you do not want to go back and stabilize. Maybe Dark needed to stonewall the sides. That's something to consider there. But, yeah, that's just a great heads-up play there from Sitaux. Sitaux still had some issues. He lost his cannons immediately after that, but yeah, that's just exactly what you need against a snowball push like that. All right. It's crazy, the storyline with Dark right now. Like, lost in the semifinals in Season 4. Now he is 0-8 in Season 5. We've had people, I mean, there's been crazier stories in TTL before. We once had someone win the season. Vinchester won a season. The next season, he was relegated. So it's not quite that, but not sure what's going on with Dark. To be honest with you, though, I just think the level has risen. And the other players have just brought an insane level from the jump. Dark has looked good, but he needs some type of risk here, and he goes for the Bengalis on high tides. And then we got Sitaux. This was the civ I talked about. Chat, type a 1 in chat if you think all the new civilizations are overpowered. Conversations on the subreddit, conversations on the Steam forums, conversations in the Twitch chat. This is OP, that's OP. I don't think that all the civilizations are as good as Chinese. Or maybe, you know, the Mayans. Or maybe some of your typical Age of Empires 2 civilizations. And so, I said it before we had any of the draft shenanigans. It was a couple days before. I was just like, who's going to end up being... Sorry, this needs to be flipped. You know, Sitaux is on the right side of the draft there, but who's going to be the guy who ends up banning all the new civs and then can't ban the ones that you would typically want to ban? And Chinese have not been played a lot this season because, well, they're just very, very strong. Dark needs a risk. Why not, bro? Why not? Send it, bro. Who cares? Maybe your opponent scouts around. Just send it. And actually, laming the Chinese can be very strong. And of course, Sitau's scout is right here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I mean, he sent it. Sitaux got a nice block there. And yeah, this Dark doesn't want to lose his scout. And now Dark's scout is weak and he has to go back home. A nice shot from Sitaux. And Sitaux will... He is playing a civilization that's not typically great on hybrid. But I think if you get the early food income with the Chinese, you could still do it. And he's bringing a villager to the north immediately to dock. First thing I think of with Bengalis is fast castle into their... going to stone and going for Ratha. That stone position is so far forward, dude. Bro. Oh. I'm feeling for Dark right now. Like Nikov says, of course, when you're 0-2, your opponent finds your lane right away. Yeah, exactly. Everything's going wrong. That was fortunate for Sitaux, you could argue. Game number 1 as well. The boars for Dark were on the front. And I don't think it's possible for Dark to consider the stone here. That stone is way too exposed. It's forward underneath the hill. But he's going to go for a barracks now. Dark likes to play archers. He likes to play economy. Bengalis can do that. But again, maybe some question on the drafting here. Just the whole season has been a little rough for him. You could see the bright spots. You can see how good a player he is. You're still fighting for $30 per win, like even if you're relegated, but it's still got to be difficult with all the viewers watching. Everyone going, no, and everyone going, yeah, and everyone, doing whatever chat does. People second-guessing my pronunciations and dropping prime subs and dropping the 34 RFG percentage. It's a lot. I mean, I played in tournaments. I played in front of viewers, but not to this level, right? And also, I'm sure if I could somehow make it to Platinum, I could experience being 0-8. But, yeah, I mean, that's not something I've ever experienced either. Dark tries the quick walls as well. So close. So close there to getting the quick walls and killing Sitau's scout. Doesn't happen, but here come the militia. But if you want to drush, you kind of need to have pushed in some hunt. So he's doing that. And if you want to drush, you also want your scout to be full HP to get the block. So I think a little bit of a risk right now from Dark. He chose not to go for the dock. Probably assumes that Sitaux has docked. Sitau's fishing in the north right now. And the militia sitting there on their own. We'll see how much they could do, but Sitaux already has loom, and Sitau's on the way up here. I like the wood line on the back for Sitaux. If he doesn't want to take this gold, he could honestly just go over here and take this gold. He saw the barracks, so he knew the militia were coming. But now he sees the militia are leaving. Man, the vision from Chinese town centers is ridiculous. Like, look at it from Dark's perspective. He has no clue what's going on out here. But Sitaux could just see he walked away and take the gold anyways. I just don't think this is going to be a very successful 2 militia drush with the scout being weak. And Sitaux knows it. He's like, what are you going to do about it? That's fine. He'll add his own militia. He'll actually shift over to this gold. And now Dark comes to water. Yeah, so this is an approach we've seen with Japanese. We've seen it with the Wu. We've seen it with the Incas before the Incas were changed a bit. Just this 2 militia harass into going to kill out the fish. I'm curious if Sitaux recognizes this, because sometimes the players on the water get really overconfident. I think that what Dark is doing now is worse, though, than it was before the patch. Because now you're in a situation where the Chinese player can just garrison their fish, right? All civilizations can garrison fishing ships inside their docks if they get surprised. So I think with that in mind, you probably always want to have the fish. And you have fish and you're also Chinese. I mean, this is 2 amazing things for Sitaux. I think Dark is still convinced that his opponent will come back out to this gold because he never saw the back of his base. Sitau's on the gold. Sitau's in the wood. Sitaux has the food on water. Sitau's living the dream out there. And now he goes for man-at-arms. I don't think Dark ever spotted this, guys. I don't think he knows He didn't know. And if he's not paying attention, he could be pushed off the berries. And he's immediately pushed off the berries. Man, Sitau's pressure today has been insane. So he forces a reaction from Dark there. Dark has to go for quick walls everywhere else. And now the only way that Sitaux would lose or fall behind would be if he didn't prep on water. And he's already prepping a Hulk as well. Man, Sitaux looks so strong at the moment. Never really a big fan of towers in your base on the back. I feel like you always want the tower towards the front, but with how many advantages you can take right now, I think it's worth it just to not take the risk. He doesn't know exactly what Dark's going to be sending forward here. He killed the scout with the tower and the spearman. He has the archers at home. He's still pressuring, and Dark is taking risks, guys. So Dark wants to trap this, but does that even do anything? I think this gate just immediately goes down, right? Sitau's looking at this like, okay, you have 5 idols, and your gate's probably going to go down. And now Dark is pressuring the water, where Sitau's paying attention. He's repairing his Hulk. He's winning the Hulk battle, and yeah, this is still super worth it for Sitaux. And Dark is taking risks. Market. Oh, he's got the stone in the back now. Okay. He'll go back to the stone. No, he needs 50 food. You stupid game. Give him his food. I hate this. No, he needs that food. He needs that food. Fast. Give him the food. Drop off the food, damn it. No, okay, he got it. He got it. They actually had 19 food in their hands, but the drop off here gave him 5 more. All right, on the way to Castle Age. This is the ultimate this is fine moment for Dark. I don't think Sitaux has ever checked for the stone back there. But Sitau's bringing the archers in now. Sitaux will come to the berries in the wood line where Dark obviously has no defense. And you kind of need to tower, but you also don't want to tower, because if you do, then you're further from a castle. Oh, man. Feels for Dark right now. Dark is just a human punching bag at the moment. Everyone's just been feasting on him here. In the end, I guess this was really good. I kind of judged this. If the army was out and about, this would be a lot worse. He still hasn't lost any eco. He might end up getting to a castle. But look at Sitau's economy. 6 farms, has the berries, has the fish. Like, he could probably still have a really nice castle age time. And this is just perfect from Sitaux. It's not too much army. It's enough army to get value without delaying your castle age time. And he's probably confused because he doesn't know about the stone, but he should still have a decent amount of time to prepare for this once he sees the castles on the way up. Oh, man, the archers are looping around. You want the castle on the woodline and the gold, right? So this is where the castle has to go up. Okay, here he goes. He's a little lucky that Sitaux didn't move this way with his archers. And Sitaux also doesn't have all of his archers here. He's got 5. I guess the other one's maybe back at home. All right, nice gates. We've seen this strategy work at economic deficits before. He's pulling back all the weak vills. All of Sitau's army on the gate will go down. The woodline will be protected. The gold will be protected. He can make Ratha. And Sitau's base is fairly open. I'd love to see Sitaux go for a second tower. 2 towers next to each other in the back could be really nice. And, wow, Sitaux even micros the man-at-arm. Such a nerd. Watch him get a kill with it as well. He's like, I'm free! That's the last thing Dark wants to go after as well. Dark needs to get to Sitau's base as quickly as possible with these Ratha. Well, 32 vills, a castle, a unique unit that everyone thinks is overpowered, has some farms. But Sitau's economy is with one of the best civs in the game, super smooth. Second archer range at home probably tells me he'll just continue to play skirms. The Ratha don't have any armor upgrades yet, so they're not very strong, and Sitaux knows it as well. And Sitaux just feels like he can do no wrong today. He's just so confident in every engagement. Guy's like For those that missed it, 3 minutes into the series, Sitaux was walking back home with both of Dark's boars, with a villager through the middle of the map. Just crazy. Yep, and he's just, ever since, he's been the better overall player. Dark has had to take a risk in the previous game, which gave himself chances. And now he's taken a big risk here. I am curious if this was initially his plan or if he just felt like he had to do this after how the first 2 games went. But you really need that first armor upgrade on the Ratha. Also, they nerfed these, right, chat? We spent so much time talking about the new water and talking about the new civs, but they nerfed the Ratha as well. I think their armor is a bit different now. So they no longer get as much base armor. And he didn't even have the first armor upgrade research, so it was a combination of the two. And now Dark needs a Mangonel. So, I mean, good move to go for the Mangonel. But you're not exactly catching up in economy. And you're not exactly going to do damage to Sitaux because Sitaux is just going to be waiting for you here. Sitau's going to get the sweep. So Mihai and Viper were probably feeling good about their sweeps against Dark. But if everybody gets the sweep, it kind of cancels out those results, right? I still feel like... I don't know. I feel like Dark's playing better every week. I really think the draft is the questionable thing, but gameplay-wise, he's solid. I think game 1, he didn't really get to get moving. There he got lamed to death, and there he was always had very little chance of recovering. Game 2, super high risk, high reward. Game 3, the same. Needs the siege to hit. Good luck. It's not going to happen against Sitaux. Sitaux will micro this with confidence that no player should have. He doesn't even have crossbowmen there. It's an army of 5 archers. Many of the archers weak and 5 skirmishers, and he's still going to find a way to keep his opponent busy there. The Dark can't do any damage at Sitau's base, so he goes over here. But now the skirmishers are chasing. Micro still continues from Sitaux. And I guess Dark's attempting to come back on water, but the skirmishers are there for the Ratha. Nice clear up. Sitaux still running around. Guys, Sitaux has 2 town centers. He's getting ballistics. He's getting wheelbarrow. He's making cav archers. He still has his fish. He'll clear up the Ratha in the north. He's still microing his army over here. It doesn't matter. He does lose a couple units, but this is just such great value from the army. It just takes Dark so long to ever get moving out of his base. He can't focus where he needs to. Look at this. All right, well, I mean, that's not one for the highlight reel, but I still think it's worth it. I'm still really impressed with what Sitaux has brought to the table today. And he's still nerding out as well. Dark actually weakens his own unit. Yeah, Dark can't do much here, guys. Honestly, it is only a 10 eco difference. I'm just noticing that now. But I'm not sure that tells the whole story here. Because Dark doesn't have any eco upgrades. Sitau's got pretty much perfect eco upgrades. And he still has the army out. And Skirm's completely shut down the Ratha. It feels bad for Dark right now. Yeah, Kirby, I just don't know. Kirby is saying maybe Dark didn't know that Ratha got nerfed. I mean, it still should be a good strat. I don't think it's a great strategy on hybrid maps. Because, and I don't think it's a great strat against Chinese. Because Chinese have the lead from the jump, right? So, I don't really know. What I do know, though, is like Dark is committing less time to AoE now than he was last season. And Dark has always been a really inconsistent player compared to many others out there. Sitaux has also struggled with a bit of consistency. But I think the results have shown you that Sitaux has been consistently a tier or so up over Dark. But like, Sitaux was never top 4 in a TTL season. Dark was last season. And it wasn't a fluke. He beat Viper, Tato, Yo. He beat all these crazy players in the same season. It's just... It was the biggest storyline. And now it's just not happening for him. GG. So Dark, most likely bottom of the group. We'll see, of course. Sitaux gets the 3 wins. Sitaux looked very strong today. And I love the confidence from Sitaux in every game. I think even though it looked amazing, even though someone could convince you it was obvious in the first game with the 2 boar steal, many people don't do it, right? People don't want to take the risk. They don't have that energy. They want to play chill. They want to play towards walls or something. But Sitaux sent it in game number 1. Game number 2, he had to work really hard. But he had every single aspect of his game down today. I felt like the Civ draft was strong from Sitaux. I felt like his strategies made sense, and his gameplay was super solid. Well played to him. And yeah, we'll see. Dark might just be playing spoiler now at this point, right? If he gets wins, I guess we have had a player make playoffs with 6 wins before. So technically, if Dark would have swept the last 2 weeks, maybe there's a chance. We'll have to pull up the odds. But just hard to imagine he's going to be able to turn this season around with how good everyone else looks and not having a single win yet. A little disappointing for Dark fans. I'm one of them. I'm a fan of all players, but you know, I'm a former teammate of Dark's in team games, but I just don't think he's up to pace with the rest of the group.